Hi, I'm Mike Yanessa. Welcome to another episode of Car Stories here at Wheels of Motion at 525 East High Street. Tonight we got Lex Dudas and John Vichy from Maple Grove Raceway. So come on in. We're going to have another great show. Hi, here we are at Wheels of Motion at 525 East High Street with very special guests tonight from Maple Grove. We have John Vichy and Lex Dudas. Maple Grove Dragway has been in business since, 1962? And it's a place to take your car to drag racing. They have events throughout the summer, and it's really a cool place. Of course, Dan Woods is here tonight to give us an update on some local car shows. And Lex and John are going to tell us about Maple Grove. So what's going on up there, guys?
Well, first and foremost, the 2014 season is underway. We have the Sunoco Race Fuels Money Trail, which is local bracket racing. Fast Friday, sponsored by Auto Locator. It's bring your car, pay $20, race it, bring it in on a trailer, race it for $25.
What is Fast Friday, by the way?
Fast Friday is basically informal drag racing. You randomly pair up with other cars, or you choose your buddy that you want to race against, pay your entry fee, go through the tech inspection, and race as many times as you can until we close the track.
Okay.
Right. And see, the thing was, I don't condone street racing. In fact, I get offended when people say they're drag racing. You only drag race on a drag strip. And if you remember one of the earlier shows, we had the Little Brothers on. Little Brothers started out racing around Pottstown, and then they realized the safety issues and that it wasn't good. And the Little Brothers Car Club also did not condone drag racing on High Street or any street. So if you want to test your car on a Friday night, go to Maple Grove. If you want to race in competition, go to Maple Grove, because I, for one, don't agree with street racing.
They have plenty of Friday night test and tune and grudge racings Fridays throughout the season, so there's ample opportunity to go.
Right, and there's other major events throughout the summer, like Super Chevy and Ford and all kind of stuff going on for everyone, all types of people that, make some models. So these guys will tell you more about that. We got some cool pictures to show, so who wants to start it off? Lex?
Next weekend is our Lucas Oil Drag Racing Series event. It's the cream of the crop of the NHRA sportsman cars with alcohol dragsters and A-fuel dragsters, alcohol funny cars. We'll have about, hopefully, 450 to 500 cars. But Saturday is a special day. It's a showdown at sundown. We have alcohol eliminations for the funny cars and the dragsters, and comp qualifying, top sportsman, top dragster. We have 2 jet dragsters coming in from California. We do a big fireworks show. And the beautiful thing is it's $25 a carload.
And that's when? Next Saturday?
Next Saturday night. That's not this coming Saturday. It's Memorial Day weekend.
May 24th.
Right.
May 24th.
And that, you gave me some coupons here at Wheels of Motion. If anybody wants to go, we have some here. Stop on down and we'll give you some passes to get in.
And that's car load. And
Car
so that
load.
means find the biggest car you can and
Right.
then load it with people. Don't load up a smart car.
A couple of years ago, we had a guy come in with a bus and it was loaded. They're laughing, thinking that, boy, we snookered you on this. And I've just said, come on in, have a great time.
Right, that's really cool.
But it's really a good family night, and the night culminates with fireworks.
Right.
So it's we started that about 5 years ago, and it's become a great promotion for us. And Penske Truck Leasing supports us. They get tickets out for us, and it's a great event.
Right, oh, that's cool. And then, John, you're going to talk about the pictures?
That's basically
At some point?
a photo from our one of our Fast Fridays.
Okay.
Street legal car, bringing it off the street, race it.
Okay.
Sure.
Before we get started with the pictures, if you don't mind, Lex, I'd like to if you could tell the viewers your history with Maple Grove. I mean, you were back there at the beginning, correct?
I'm as old as the dirt out there.
He planted the original lawn.
It was built in 1962. It started in 61.
Right.
Alfred S. Stauffer, a group of racers came to his kitchen table right there at Gate 4. The house is still there. And
Really?
pitched him an idea about building a drag strip. And a couple of key players in that were George Weiler from Birdsboro and Carl Ruth from Reading. And there was a car club with the Musser brothers, and there's a long list, Lee Krupe, that were involved in pushing pop down the road.
Right.
And that was 50, we're going in our 52nd season.
Wow.
Still under the ownership of the Stauffer family. It's a great family to work for. They've invested and reinvested in the facility, and in this economy that we're in, it's pretty tough on racetracks. I mean, it's, you know, we're not recession-proof. We always thought we were, but we're not.
Right.
But we've been able to get through it because when you pull into the gates at Maple Grove, everything you see is paid for. We don't have banknotes like some of the other tracks do. And
Because they owned it all these years.
They've owned it all these years.
That's a key thing, yeah.
but a quick story about Grandpop when he built it was the drag strip was laid out between two public roads, and his idea was, well, if it fails, we got the starts of a housing development. Well, Grandpop never went to the housing development, so
No,
it's been a good story.
Right.
A lot of tradition there. A lot of great racers came out of there. Maple Grove is better known in California or Canada than it is in Reading, Pennsylvania.
Yeah,
It's,
a lot of people want to race there, I know that.
It's got a lot of tradition, a lot of history. I think that's one of the reasons why John came with us from, John just moved in from Las Vegas.
Oh, did you?
Yes, I
And,
did. 14 years there.
We worked together back when we were building Las Vegas Motor Speedway.
Oh, wow.
So it was a great opportunity that became available when John wanted to come back east. He's from Buffalo originally, and I thought this could be a good marriage.
Right.
How did you come about the name Maple Grove Raceway? How did that come about? I kind of know the answer, but I think the viewers would be interested.
It's just the trees. I mean, we've had a lot of maple trees up there forever. It's just, if you know the total history of Maple Grove, it started off as a swimming pool. And the pool was at one time the largest attraction in Berks County.
Mm-hmm. I heard that, yeah.
There was times that there'd be 1,800 people in there on a Saturday or Sunday. And out of that came the racetrack, because they owned the farm across the street. What story did you hear about the maple?
That the maple trees were used to make barrels.
Could be. Yeah, he used to do barrels. He used to have a sawmill, and but that was one of his early business. He had pecan farms. Mr. Stauffer was a great entrepreneur, and he wasn't afraid to take a risk. I mean, he was not a young man when he decided to put the bulldozers out there.
Mm-hmm.
And he never lived to see it come to fruition to really what I think he would have really been proud of if he
Yeah,
could have
now-
seen where it has ended up.
Yeah, even from when I was a kid, from the wooden bleachers all the way now to the grandstands and the big hospitality suite, it's just a really nice track.
Funny story is people say, boy, this thing was laid out right. And like they look at our staging lanes, which are naturally downhill.
Mm-hmm.
You went to ZMAX, and ZMAX is a brand new $20 million facility. You got to push your cars uphill.
Right.
Well, that wasn't done by planning. It's just with the
Way it worked out.
way the ground laid out.
Right.
And Mr. Stauffer looked like a genius, but it still works that way.
Right.
And it's just really neat to see how it evolved from when it opened in '62. And I raced there. I actually started racing in '63. I was there on opening day with another team from Spring City, Sam Yost, Yosemite Sam. He used to have a 413 Plymouth. And
Wow.
that's when you can go to Reedman's and buy a 426 Hemi, and
Right.
drive it
Take
home.
it to the track.
So things have changed.
Yeah. Well, thank you. That was great. Now we know a little bit of history about Maple Grove. Great place to take your family. Check the schedule on the internet, and you'll see an event this summer that suits you, and come on out. So, John, you're going to show us some pictures from Maple Grove. I'll flip to the next one.
Sure. This is from the NHRA Nationals. This is Alexis DeGioia racing last year at Maple Grove. One of the top female racers, one of the top drag racers in the country right now. Very popular. So great for the sport.
Just to reiterate a little bit on that picture, she's really come into her own real quick. Great team with Connie Colletta's team out of Ypsilanti, Michigan. But we still are the quickest and fastest drag strip in the world.
Wow. I
2
didn't know
years
that.
ago, we got great weather, and we smashed a bunch of records.
I remember that. Yep.
And last year was a little hot, a little humid for October. But our event last year was the largest growth event in 2013 on the whole 24 race tour.
Wow.
We went up 8.2% last year, which everybody wanted to know what we did. And I said, well, we call a thing called weather. We
Yeah,
had three
yeah.
nice days of weather, and our fans are very loyal. We've got fans that every year buy the same seats, same tickets. They start in January. We went on February, I think we went out this year. The same people sending in for their tickets, and it's an amazing story. On the 24 race tour, we ranked number 10. So that's pretty strong for Berks County, Pennsylvania, to have the
Right,
number
right.
10 race on the 24 race national tour.
Wow, that's really cool. What else we got here?
John Force, the Dale Earnhardt of the NHRA, probably the best known drag racer now after Big Daddy Don Garlitz.
Yeah.
The most popular. Everybody loves him. Terrific showman.
Yep, my Aunt Jenny watches the show all the time, and she met him, and she's just in awe of him. Yep, she loves
I've
him.
known that man for years, and I used to work for NHRA, so I dealt with him a lot and as an official.
Right.
I'll never forget the time in Columbus, Ohio, they found the flywheel can had some holes drilled in it, which you can't do. And of course, the car got tossed out of tech. He comes running up to me and says, Lex, I've got kids. I won't cheat.
That sounds like him.
Yeah, he's an excellent guy.
Yeah.
And what else we got?
So one of the Nitro Fish funny cars, just
Wow.
from the national event again last year.
And if you notice, the signs are in the background. Kenny Koretsky's a Bucks County businessman that's been very successful in his private life, and he supports drag racing tremendously. He spends a lot of money on supporting teams. That's the Pedregon car, which he helps through the course of the year. He doesn't sponsor it every week, but he has a line of apparel, Nitro Fish.
Oh,
Hence,
okay.
hence the Nitro Fish name.
He used to have his own pro stock car too. A couple
Yes.
of years back, it was a Mopar that he did pretty good at, and then he kind of retired and got out of the seat, and sponsors. He also has a motorcycle, pro stock motorcycle team as well.
He's sponsoring the Smith family now.
Yeah.
The world champion he picked up, and he's gathering his resources for one great hurrah tour. He wants to have a top field team, and he doesn't want to do a second class. So, and I know Koretsky, if it
Yeah.
comes out,
Be
he'll
awesome.
be right there.
Wow.
He will be right there.
That's awesome.
It's another picture from last year's national event. These are pro stocks. It also was October was Breast Cancer Awareness Month. Many of the teams, like you saw with Alexis's car, had pink in the paint schemes for breast cancer awareness. A lot of them.
Okay.
We did it too with the Maple Grove
Maple
Raceway.
Grove,
thing.
yeah.
Yeah,
Nice.
a lot of the drivers wore the fire suit with the pink in it, and then raffled them off or auctioned them off for breast cancer awareness fundraising.
Oh, that's great. That's very, very cool. There you go, Pink.
One more pink. It's
Yeah.
Antron Brown against one of the Alanabi cars, full grandstands.
Yeah.
It was a great event. I watched it on television, but it was a great event. It was one of the very few events during the year that I watched on TV from beginning to end.
Yeah, right. So if it's Friday night graduation with your friends, or just a regular Saturday, or all the way to a national event at Maple Grove. So it's the place to go to race. They race motorcycles, cars, funny cars, all kind of stuff.
Car shows too. So
And car shows, yeah.
you got any story about him?
Not really. They're
I'm
Texas
one of
Oil
his-
people.
I'm one of his fans.
Are you?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
He's a young guy, cancer survivor. Okay.
Wow.
Started his own team with his father. They're out of Texas. For the life of me, I can't think of his name. But
Torrance.
what's that?
Torrance.
Torrance.
Steve Torrance.
Steve Torrance.
Yeah.
Yes.
And his dad's name's Billy.
And they're a good family. It's like a family-oriented team. He basically put that team together last year, if I remember right, at the last minute, right before the first race, and he's been fairly competitive over the last year and a half.
Yeah, he's been running about 2 years, but his daddy's very successful in the oil business. He does a lot of the drill piping, but you better be successful to run 2 of those.
Wow. How about that? What do you think? What's it cost? Anybody have a guess?
2.5 million a year.
$2.5 million a
If
year.
you run 2 of them, that's
Yeah.
5 million.
Oh, my goodness. You'd have to own a oil well, right?
It's one of the funny car elimination rounds again from the national event last year.
Yeah, beautiful.
That was our geezers at the Grove. I think that might have been last year.
That was from last year.
And when we brought in all the nitro cars, and that was a good event, but we had to tone it down a little bit for this year, which we've taken the geezers and kind of put it on the shelf until our 55th anniversary, which is in 3 years, then we'll bring it back. But for now, we're doing an event called Glory Days, and it's more attuned to guys on the street with their street rods coming for the car show. Dan will be involved with us with Glen Eck, paint
Oh
plays.
yeah, yep.
And you know, we've got all the nostalgia circuits that run up here: the Mandras, the Nitos, the East
Yeah.
Coast Gassers,
22 All-Stars.
422
Right.
All-Stars
Yeah.
will be there.
We'll be there.
Yeah.
And,
Four
a-
alcohol funny
we
cars.
got 4 alcohol cars just to make some laps, but we wanted to gear it back a little bit and bring it back the right way. It kind of got a little messed up when we went to our 50th anniversary and actually changed the geezers to the 50th for our 50th celebration. Then it was like, where'd the geezers go? Well, we brought it back, and we just need to
Yeah.
to
Yeah, take a
redesign
break.
it
Yeah.
and bring it out. But we old guys
Right.
like Glory Days and like these kind of cars.
Right.
But
So you get to see some of the old drag racers instead of the new stuff like we just saw.
Which you're gonna be bringing this '63 Chevy out to the
Yeah,
show, aren't you?
yeah,
You can make some laps with that.
Yep.
It is a great event. It's a very good event for not only if you're a racer and have a nostalgia type car, or if it's a car show. If it's a nostalgia car, you know, it's a nice show. I think last year we got kind of rained out.
yeah, that hurts.
We got rained out big time, but the year before we were up to upwards of around 160 cars
In the car show.
in the car show alone.
And what's the date? June 20?
June 28th.
28.
Yeah, I have it on my schedule.
28 and
Okay.
29.
Good. June 28. That's a good one to
The
attend.
reason
folks.
why the car show part of that grew so good was because of Dan and Glenn. I don't have the time to devote to going around and talking it up.
Right.
Where he and Glenn really did a great job, and it was a good event. People came, had a good time. It was a relatively good ticket price to come in, and we just give away 25 awards and let them parade down the track, and but it was I really get into it.
Right.
Everybody has a good time. Really do.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right. What else we got here?
So our Latin American import drags. That happens in the first week in September. And the import cars of this generation were our Chevelles and Novas.
Right.
These are the cars that they can afford. These are the cars that they drag race. And it's
Right.
These
It's-
cars are rocket ships, absolute rocket ships. We had the Pro Mod guys there that weekend with them, and their mouths dropped open when these cars. I don't know if that's the car or not, but one of them ran a 602 no, a 690.
690,
Wow,
I believe.
690 at 201. I mean, just stupid numbers.
Yeah.
And they come out, actually bring cars in from Puerto Rico, and they're the high. Those cars are extremely expensive.
Right.
Some of those cars are 200 grand,
No kidding.
and they're just an incredible piece of craftsmanship.
Yeah. Lightweight. Cool.
That's my old buddy, Jersey Thunder, Bob Van Skyver.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
He doesn't drive it anymore, but Bob's history is kind of unique. He started off doing line painting, and he used to do our line painting in the early '70s in Maple Grove. And then he went and he bought Atco Raceway, and he owned Atco for a long time.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And he sold that to the Sway family. But
Joe
when he
Sway,
sold
yeah.
the track, he calls me up and he says, "You need any striping work?" He went out and bought a brand new striping machine, so he come do our striping.
Back in the
So
striping
he's
business.
back in the striping business. He has the jet drag. Said, "Now we got to book him."
See, I'm the new guy in town, so every time he speaks, it's a history lesson for me. I didn't
You're
know
learning,
about
yeah.
striping, selling drag strips, buying drag strips. I put the picture there because we're having 2 jet dragsters on the showdown at sundown.
We got
Right.
we got the Cannonball Express and Casey Jones coming in. They're not the the fastest jets in the country, but they are absolute best showmanship.
Showmanship. Yeah. and if you-
They really know how to get the fans
to
going.
get them going. If you never saw a jet
And-
funny car or a jet dragster, they are just awesome to see. in
And for an
person.
extra $5, we'll let you stand right here
Oh no, you don't
on
want
the
to do
track.
that.
$5. It's only $5.
No,
It's a
you don't want
bargain.
to do that. They are just awesome to watch in person. They are. Cool. And we're back to the beginning? Or is that another
No,
one?
we have more.
You have more?
There
you
it is.
go.
Okay.
That one got in there twice. Look at that Nova leaving. Wow.
That's one example. That ran in a quick 32 class. In other words, the 32 quickest cars, and that was one of the cars that qualified. But that's an example of what you could see any Saturday or any Sunday at Maple
What's the
Grove.
quick 32 for the geezer?
Bracket cars?
Or for the bracket?
I think it might have been. We might have done that.
Yeah.
I don't know when that picture was taken, but you just qualify 32 cars.
32 cars, yeah. And they race each other.
And they race each other based
Wow.
off how they qualified.
And that's the beauty of drag racing too, is that there's so many different cars, and the old cars live forever. And you get wild launches like this. You get the noise, you get the color, you get the speed, and it's not a race where you have to sit and wait 3 hours to find out who the winner is. If you don't like these two cars on the starting line, wait a minute and a half because two more are coming
More
along.
coming, yeah.
So that's the beauty of drag racing. It's so quick and it's so fast and so loud and so
Quick
colorful.
story. Last Friday night at the grudge race, I'm watching these cars go down a track, and there's a brand new Cherokee, 4-wheel drive Cherokee,
Right?
and looks bone stock, makes the run. I go, what? 12:04.
Yeah, because it's probably one of them
And
special heavy,
Right away I had to go, what did you do to this? He said, fuel bolt-ons.
Yeah.
He ended up running 1196.
You probably use one of the pipes exhaust systems on it as
But
well.
I mean, that thing's,
They make-
you would never have thought that.
Yeah. Yeah, I've seen that too, and it's like, what? You
And
know,
that,
how much
when
time
it
it took me
impresses
to
an
go?
old guy like this, it's
Yeah,
impressive.
you know how much money and time it takes to go 11s, and they just do it with a couple bolt-ons. Yeah.
And this guy
Wow.
drives it to work every day too.
He did have DOT slicks on it.
Oh, did he?
But,
Did he?
but you had to go look at him. It wasn't like anything stood out at you.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, if your car goes 16, 17 seconds, it's bracket racing. So there's a class for you. You know, you don't have to be the fastest kid on the block. You can go up there and win just by running the number.
And speaking of kids,
Yeah.
we went on a push about a year ago with NHRA about, we start kids in junior dragsters, 8 years old, up to 16, but the class is becoming expensive for parents to maintain these cars. And we went on a push for a class called Junior Street with NHRA, and we finally got it approved where kids 13, 14, 15, and 16 can drive dad's pickup truck, this 63 Chevy,
Anything. Wow.
on the 8th mile, but the parent rides along with him.
Oh, wow.
And the parents drive the car to the staging lane, the kid gets in the driver's seat, races, comes up the time slips, and the parent drives it back to the pits. So with that class is we licensed our first 3 kids 2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago.
Wow,
And
that's interesting. I didn't know that.
the looks on those kids' faces were really incredible when they really enjoyed doing what they're doing, and I think that's got a great future to bring youth in.
I can't believe how quick time goes. We're almost out of time here, but there's something I have to share with you. They race more than cars at Maple Grove. Lex is talking something about a bull run. Now, what's a bull run?
Bull Run it's a new operation. It's a company called Rugged Maniac.
Right?
And they started bull runs, just like they do in Barcelona, Spain, where they have rodeo bulls, which are not the same type of bull that they use over in Spain. But people pay money to come in and run in front of the bulls. And
So, like down the track, there's going to
they'll
be.
be off on the right-hand side on a grass
Wow.
strip. There's right now, as of Friday, there's 3,000 signed up to run.
Oh my
And
goodness!
it's quite an experience, and they culminate the day with a tomato royale, where they get rotten tomatoes and throw at each other.
Oh my goodness! What date? What date is
June
this?
7th, Saturday, June 7th.
Saturday,
Be
June
there.
7th. And don't forget to check out Maple Grove's website, and you'll be able to see all the events throughout the summer.
That's www.maplegroveraceway.com.
All right, Dan, what do you got for us from
Okay.
upcoming events?
Get your calendars out. There's a lot of stuff, and I got to go over quickly here. Sunday, May 18th, from 2 to 6 p.m., there's a car show at Freed's Supermarket, 224 Swamp Pike in Gilbertsville. Benefits Sabrina, excuse me if I get the last name wrong, Palermo, a local 8-year-old who has leukemia. Donations only, no registration, 50-50, free drinks for all participants. Sounds like a lot of fun. Try to make it out there. Sunday, May 18th, ADCO Dragway, the Philadelphia Modifiers Yesteryear Drags and Car Show. May 25th is the Valley Forge Mustang and Chester County Antique Car Club's car show at Kimmerton Fairgrounds. This is a big show where they get upwards of 500 to 600 cars. Friday night, June 7th, is a cruise night at High Street in Pottstown presented by the Pottstown Classics. Saturday, June 14th, is the Mid-Atlantic Car Show and Nostalgia Drags at Cecil County Dragway. If you like nostalgia drag racing, put it on your calendar. This is a must-see event. Friday and Saturday, June 13th and 14th, is the Pipes Exhaust Open House and Car Show. Performance Years also has a special Pontiac show for all the vintage Pontiacs. I heard this is a really great show as well. Saturday, June 28th at Maple Grove Raceway is Glory Days Nostalgia Drags and Car Show. 422 All-Stars will be there. And Lex, what else is going on there?
Well, during the day we have our summer flea market where people can come in and sell their wares. As far as car parts, $5. They can sit on the grandstand side for the rest of the day if they went through for that $5 ticket.
Do you have some funny cars going on?
We've got some alcohol funny cars coming in to make 2 licks first. We've got the Northeast NITO, Northeast Timing Organization. We got Mandra coming in, which is another nostalgia group.
So
East Coast Gassers.
If you like nostalgia race cars and old-time race cars, that's June 28th at Maple
And we
Grove.
got the backseat drivers as well.
Backseat drivers and the 422 All-Stars, which is a great series.
Great, great. They were on the
Backseat
show.
drivers are all nostalgia dragsters.
Wow.
The driver sits over the rear.
Well, Dan, I can't thank you enough again for coming to Car Stories. Dan's from D&W Motorsports. He does great powder coating. If you haven't seen the show that he did with me, it's on the internet at thepctvnetwork.com. And Lex and John, I can't thank you enough. It's an honor to have you two guys here.
Thank you for having us.
I'm glad you took the time out to come down, and I hope to see you at Maple Grove, and I hope to see all of you at Maple Grove this summer.
And all the mushroom growers of Chester County. And the final word is remember that agribusiness is still #1 in Pennsylvania and still #1 in terms of its economic value in Chester County. Thanks for listening and good day.
People with disabilities may request a transcript of this program by calling area code 717-787-5166. The TTY number is 1-800-364-1581.